Well, now we know what the White House is considering, but what about Iran? How are they viewing all of this recent movements? Well, to discuss more, we're joined now by Behnam Taleblu, Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Behnam, how is Iran responding to the U.S. aircraft carrier that has now arrived to the region? Are they viewing this more as defense, deterrence from Washington, or a real threat that the regime is actually preparing for?
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you, Nicole. This is really the million-dollar question, because how the Iranians respond to whatever kind of strike President Trump is going to be having on the way, whether that comes from the USS Lincoln or not, is going to determine really the future and fate of their regime. Iran's deterrence strategy is heavily centered on deterrence by punishment. That basically allows them to remain as they are, a pretty weak regime in terms of conventional military prowess and economic capability, but still be able to be lethal. Iran is still home, as you know, to the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East. And when it comes to stirring up trouble in the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz, this is something that they've really been working on for 4 decades now. Part of the threat that we saw post-October 7 in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden and Bab el-Mandeb was really a threat that they had mastered and exported to their Houthi proxies. So be on the lookout for A2AD, asymmetric maritime capabilities, and anti-ship cruise and anti-ship ballistic threats that the regime is going to be looking to posture. And already when you look at hardline media in Iran, that's precisely what they're talking about. They're sending out images and pictures and AI videos of carriers and destroyers and frigates being destroyed by Iran's, again, asymmetric and non-conventional military capabilities.
Behnam, is there any off-ramp for Iran, something to stop the U.S. from attacking, diplomacy perhaps, or is that ship already sailed, so to speak? Is it a little bit too late?
Well, let's hope that the Trump administration is not entertaining talks with a regime that has killed over reportedly 30,000 of its own people, particularly after 8 or 9 times now the most powerful person in the world, U.S. President Donald Trump, has talked about holding the regime accountable for its human rights violations and crackdown in this most significant street protest against the state in the 47-year history of the Islamic Republic. Nonetheless, there are still messages that Witkoff and Arakchi reportedly still send one another. Special Envoy Witkoff just alluded to these messages in his recent, media appearances on the sidelines of the Davos World Economic Forum. But there's really only one way out for the Islamic Republic, and that's actually to heed the calls of its own population to stand aside. But given past being prologue here, and given the ideology these guys have, they're clearly quite intent to burn through the country instead.